What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Philly Frenzy podcast. It's your boy, Matt, here with my buddy, Rob. What's going on, Rob?
Not much, man. Excited to do our third round of podcasts for today. We've already covered the NBA and NFL, so if you're interested in those as well, you can go check them out on our YouTube page. But right now, we're getting into our What the Puck segment, covering the NHL, specifically the local Philadelphia Flyers.
Yeah, so there was a couple moves made right before the trade deadline yesterday by the Flyers. One that is not a Flyers move that I want to bring up real quick. Former Flyer Jeff Carter has been traded to the Penguins in a Ron Hextall reunion.
Ugh. I hate the Penguins. As a general manager, I hate Hextall. So, definitely didn't hate him as a player. As a player. As a GM, that dude stinks. So, not surprised that he would bring in a guy he's familiar with, though, in Jeff Carter. So,
No.
it just adds a little more firepower to Pittsburgh, who's, I guess, trying to tool up for the playoffs. The Flyers did sign Scott Lawton to an extension. There was talks that they were going to move him at the trade deadline, but then decided that they valued him too highly to give him a chance to go play and possibly sign with someone else, because he was an unrestricted free agent this offseason. So they would have, even if they traded him, that team, unless they signed him to an extension, wouldn't have kept him, and we possibly could have brought him back. But you're also risking that you trade him somewhere and he ends up liking it there more, and he signs with them instead of you.
Yeah.
And that was just something they weren't willing to risk, which I'm okay with. I like Lawton. I think he's one of our better players and one of the guys I would actually like to keep. They did trade away a couple guys. They traded away Gustafson to Montreal for a 7. And they traded Michael Roth away to Washington for a 5th. So, I mean, they weren't major moves. I don't know if this is... There was definitely no reason for the Flyers to be buyers at the trade deadline. So, yeah, at least, moving off these guys, we got some compensation back for them. I don't think either was a major blow to the team either way. I think the Flyers will miss the playoffs, as I've stated previously. When that happens, I think you'll see them blow it up more this offseason. I think somehow they're still clinging on to hopes that they're going to make the playoffs, so they didn't want to be too much of a seller, I guess, at the deadline. But they are definitely not going to make the playoffs, and when that happens, I do hope to see more of a major blow up of this roster, move off some of these guys that are older, even if they're very talented, get quality draft picks for them, and get young and retool.
Here's a little interesting nugget here. The Flyers have lost 8 times this season by 3 or more goals, and 6 times by 5 goals or more, including 2 times to the Sabres. I watched the game on Sunday, and we were up 3-2 with 3 minutes left. I'm like, all right, we got this win. Went outside, did a couple things, came back, and it's 5-3 final. I don't know why they're struggling at the rate that they are. They, from what I watched on Sunday, being the most recent game, they looked good until the third period. And then it seems like they start sliding down. Um, you know, there was a couple times in the third period we got hit with some penalties. We escaped playing 5-on-4 a few times, and then there was a little brawl. And instead of lighting a fire under the Flyers' ass, it lit a fire under Buffalo's ass, and the Sabres went on to score 3 unanswered goals in under 3 minutes.
Well, the thing is, our defense is terrible. Our goaltending's been terrible behind our defense as well. There's been no consistently good play throughout an entire game. Even I don't feel. Um, that's kind of. I'm actually kind of happy they dealt a defenseman in Gustafson and got anything for him because all of our defenders obviously are not good. But him getting dealt is going to allow a couple of the younger guys that we have in the organization come up and get playing time, and these are guys that I think have some talent. We have some defenseman prospects that looked very good when we drafted them, so this should get some of these guys playing time, and maybe they can prove themselves to be better than what we've had. So try and take some sort of positive out of them being complete garbage.
Yeah, with the loss on Sunday, it seems like they are completely out of the race. As you said,
Yeah,
no playoffs.
I said that weeks ago
Yeah.
that this was going to happen. I predicted this. I was right. I usually am. It's amazing how that works when you have knowledge. But yeah, I mean, they are points wise now. We're tied with the Rangers. I think the Rangers would be above us due to whatever the tiebreaker is because they probably have it. So we're falling fast here. We're the 6th seed in the East. So they would even winning out. I don't know if they could even get in.
Yeah, and at this point, I don't want them in.
I don't want them in either. I think they need the wake up call, and I think they need to blow the roster up.
Yeah, I feel like if they make a playoff run here, these guys are going to get another shot, and it needs to get blown up and fast. I think it needs to start not only with the players, but I think we need a new coach. Um, it's very it's like you're not watching the Flyers anymore. In the beginning of the season, they looked great.
Oh no! It's not like I'm not. It's not like I'm not watching them. I'm physically not watching them anymore.
It's like we're watching the Mighty Ducks in reverse. That's the best way to put it. This team went from fantastic to bad.
Makes me so mad. Yeah, I mean it's really one of like the biggest downturns I think I've ever seen from any team in any sport. To be as hot as they were last year before the COVID hit, and then still play pretty well in the playoffs. I don't think we played amazing, but we looked like one of the better teams in the NHL in the playoffs last year. Then started out looking like that same team from last year. Like, we're hot. This is a great roster. We're going to do something, to becoming the absolute laughingstock dumpster fire of the NHL right now.
We're the only team that loses to the Sabres.
Yeah, like I said, the dumpster fire laughingstock of the NHL right now. To go from one of the hottest teams in hockey to that it's one of the biggest negative turnarounds of a season I've ever seen in sports. Like I still hard to believe that you could have that large of a turnaround, but they've done it.
Yeah, I was expecting a turnaround to come again after watching the Flyers last year, and then this year you would have thought something would have sparked them and they would have been able to turn it around a few weeks ago and got back on the winning path, but it hasn't happened. I don't want it to happen now. I want it to be over. Reminds me a lot of the Phillies. We either start off hot and get cold pretty quick, or we start off cold and get hot when it doesn't matter. It's definitely just disheartening to watch this team go from in the preseason a favorite to win the Stanley Cup to having like 10,000 plus odds now. It's definitely something that I wasn't expecting. I was expecting a really good season. They were playing really well, and they just stopped playing.
Yeah, I agree, man. I don't have much else to add either.
You would think that I was like going through like depression or something right now. We went Ben Simmons, and I'm all upset over here, and then now we're talking Flyers.
Yeah, well, nothing's more depressing than the Flyers right now. So
No, not even close. I mean, they've just been so bad.
baseball, it's too early for me to be that depressed, even though my team's not doing well. Way too early. Basketball, the Sixers are still winning, so I'm not depressed there. Football, I'm usually in constant state of depression as a Raiders fan, so I guess I'm just more used to it. Oh, wait, I'm usually in a constant state of depression about the Flyers, too, because somehow, some way, they always screw it up.
Yeah, so that's gonna wrap it up for What the Puck today. Next week, I think we're gonna try to grab a topic later on this week, and possibly hit something non-Flyers related, so we actually have something to talk about instead of is the flame ever gonna go out? Tomorrow we do have a MLB scheduled episode with our buddy Kyle. 2 weeks into the season, we're going to break down some teams, see who he likes to possibly make a deep run, and he's got MVP candidates already, so we'll see who they are. On Thursday, we do have another quote-unquote baseball show, as our buddy 2K Chris is coming on. He's going to be talking some baseball analytics with us, and, I'm going to get to hear words that I only thought I'd be able to look at in a dictionary. So that should be interesting tomorrow and Thursday. And, until tomorrow, Rob, you have anything you want to add?
Nope, that's it.
All right. So Philly Frenzy out. Have a good one, guys.